The reunion that is coming is going to be a very, very powerful activity. Faces that you have not seen in a long while. This opportunity to reunite, opportunity to, bond, opportunity to reflect on past memories. So you can't afford to miss it. Raphael Nakurere, my friend in Abuja, I hope will be chance to come. And other friends still in Abuja now. So all those are friends and all that. Is wherever you are, make it a date to be there. I remember Kate Alawa is in Port Harcourt. Yes, all those fine musicians and all that. Please, if you can make it, be there. It will be very, very interesting and rewarding. God bless you. By the grace of God, I'm Professor Anthony Atimati, and my wife here is
Arete Atimati.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, coincidentally, the choir has evolved that we now have period of induction and period of sent forth. But in our time, there was nothing like induction. So you just come in and you want to sing, please come. They welcome you. So, and that was 1987. And my sent forth was in 1991.
Oh, wow. Mommy, what about yours?
Okay, I didn't really have a period of induction. Like when I got admitted into the University of Benin, 1995-1996 academic session, I had already been a chorister. So they just welcomed me into the choir.
Oh,
And neither was I even sent forth because there was really nothing like that at that moment.
I was a choir master. I was also vice chairman and also chairman of the choir. So those were three positions that I had.
What year?
What year was that? That should be 1990.
1990.
Yes.
I was in
a long time ago. Mommy, what about you?
Well, I didn't really hold any position in the choir.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But then you guys met in choir.
Yes, we met in the choir.
Okay.
But
Not
St.
in St. Albert choir.
Oh.
We met
Yes, we met
first,
in
Mary the Queen choir
in
in
Ekpoma.
Ekpoma.
Okay, no, no.
Yes, before we now met in St.
St.
Albert
Albert
choir.
choir.
So the choir.
That's very, very
Choir, yes.
safe to say.
I should say that there were actually many favorite memories, many favorite memories. But one of them that I vividly recall is when we had the first intra choir competition.
Oh, yeah,
It was quite exciting, when we're preparing. Solo performance, duet performance. There was even trio, then quartets. Then they now divide choir into the groups. And I remember the role Pusalakija played when he was trying to teach us how to, sing solo. All the additions and all expressions, all those things, pronunciation and all that. So it was a very, very remarkable moment because I had the opportunity to, so this can be quite, exciting. So that was a very important period. If you permit me to mention another one, another favorite moment I can remember is when we had the first gala night in St. Albert. And I remember a priest then who was in St. Augustine's Catholic Church. He was also present. So guitar, different instruments and all that. And it was quite, interesting. And I said just one more, but permit me again to mention the first this thing that we had, film competition. It was hosted by St. Albert's choir, the first film choir, and seeing the various choirs that came from different places for that film competition in Benin City here.
And that was 1995, right?
No, that was no. The first one was not 95. Okay.
2095.
Yeah, 95. Yes. Then I had graduated, but of course, I had always been in the choir. Even it was moving to and fro and all that. So that one was another very important moment in the choir, favorite moment for me, because the singing, the crowd singing a particular song and all that, the stage, auditorium, then full, and it was rich. So these are the favorite moments, among the favorite moments that I actually had in the choir.
Mommy, what about you? Can you let us?
Well, my active period in the choir was actually short-lived because we got married. After marriage, I wasn't active in the choir because I was a student and as well raising children. So I was always going off and on. But what I can remember vividly when I was active in St. Albert's Choir was during our preparations for the first ordination that ever took place in the parish. I think that was in 1998.
Yeah.
So the rehearsals we had were quite interesting, and the joy and euphoria of having to sing an ordination mass, which I had never had the experience of singing before. So it was really beautiful. I think that's the experience I can actually remember. All others were back home in Ekpoma, in Mary the Queen.
Oh my
So
God.
yes, so I was more active there. After my marriage years, I was just going off and on because of time and all that.
I can imagine.
I can't forget this moment. We had our Christmas carol, and this song, dum 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 dun 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 dun. Mary Poisson, Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day. Dum 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 dum. Behold, we're in this thing. And my successor, the person of Matthew, if you know as the choir master, he had that deep bass. So we said, oh yeah, he now gave the wrong key.
Sure.
If we had known, immediately we noticed it. As I say, stop, let's start all over. But we thought we could, get it through. Everything collapsed. And I was just wishing that the stage be just open so that I was conducting, but I was not. As soon as the stage open, I was just, bury myself inside. That was how we feel you pack it as well.
Will you be so sorrowful? You say,
What was that? I looked at him. I thought, boy, you don't swear this matter. So that's the worst moment I can remember.
Well, the worst memory I can vividly remember was when we were learning the song And the Glory. Because that song is a difficult piece. And I will never forget because my voice can actually be a high-pitched one. And it was so glaring that I just took it out of during the course of singing the song, and the choir. Okay, the part leader then quickly interrupted, and before you know it, I was really taken aback by it because I couldn't just keep control of my voice, and it just went out of key. During rehearsals, though, thank God it was in performance. So I'll never forget it because to me it was embarrassing. At the same time, it's part of learning anyway. You have to be conscious of your voice at all times. So that's the moments I can actually remember.
When I look back to those years as a student in the choir, it demands a lot of sacrifice, which means you really need to be organized. Because imagine studying medicine, the different times you are going for dissection, the times you are going for tutorials and all that, going to the clinic. And in addition to that, you still have to face your studies because, come to think of it, that is why your parents sent you there. So, with that, I really found myself trying to now know how to manage time. So, some of the activities that I felt these ones are not that important, I have to do away with them in order to be able to pay attention to my studies and still actively participate in the activities of the choir. So I can say it helps me in learning to manage time. In addition, it also taught me patience, both as a chorister and as a choir master at that time. And when you meet some difficult pieces and no one is trying to, that tendency that, especially this one when we're doing that, his yoke is easy. The change of key and all, the thing will crash somewhere. We ended up saying, this yoke not easy. Say the yoke is easy, but this one not easy. So, but knowing that you have a goal, the goal is to be able to bring out the best out of it. So, it taught me patience, what I call perseverance, fortitude, and be able to continue to struggle on until you're able to get what you want. And still along that line of patience, I remember vividly too. This currently, I can say that we are blessed with so many choristers. And back then, you just had a few students with us, and then few adult parishioners who were in the choir. So during holiday, when the students leave, short, just like a ghost land. Very few people to now sing. And then when we see the young ones coming into the choir, then you train them and all that. When they come, they're almost ignorant concerning music, and then you train them, and then they are becoming very good. Then suddenly they graduate, and you start from the beginning. So these were periods of, patience and all that. So I can say these are some of the things I can say the choir has helped me to form, and which is also helping me today because as head of the department presently, I see students who are also under me and then workers, staff under me, and at times many things happen that you almost want to lose patience and all that. But remember that it's a struggle. You have to continue to help, support, and also tolerate. So yes, those are the things I can say the choir has helped me to.
Mommy, can I hear from you?
Okay, being in the choir has actually been a right platform, which has given me the opportunity and privilege to learn virtues while there, especially being a student, at the same time being a housewife. I really learned a lot, like time management, because having to cope with your studies at the same time, manage the home front is all encompassing. And the choirs gave me that platform to be able to, because once rehearsals time are fixed, you have to meet up with it and all that. So learning to juggle your activities a lot has really been what I learned from the choir. And at the same time, discipline, because the choir is one kind of a place where I have found and learned discipline too. Because you have to be really disciplined to be a chorister. There are many things that will affect your lifestyle and all. And having to relate with the persons who are in the choir, learning patience, learning to tolerate each other, because you have different personalities coming together. The choir actually gave me that platform. And all these have contributed in forming the person I have become. That has even helped me in my workplace as well, because in my workplace, I'm also the current head of department and having to work with human beings and staff and all that, and students under me as well. So if I didn't learn all those things from the choir, it wouldn't have transformed to what I've been able to sow and put in my workplace. So I see it as a forum where people can actually be trained, young minds, to actually learn virtues, which they can translate into their respective endeavors that they find themselves. And the choir has actually given that platform to me. So kudos to the choir.
Right, and man, in your speech you mentioned something about marrying, being a housewife.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit of how you met daddy and now you married? You know, a little bit of that.
Okay, well, like I said earlier, we met in Mary the Queen Choir, Efboma. In fact, that choir contributed to, at least we started there. They made a great of impact in our lives. And meeting him in the choir, he was such a dedicated chorister. And we even
jot things down.
such a dedicated chorister. And I actually met him through my elder sister, who was also in the choir. So she got him introduced to me. And one thing about me growing up, I've actually loved devoted and committed males. Yes, when I see committed males, I really get attracted to them.
Wow.
Yes, so I like that in males because you hardly see males who want to show interest in the things of God.
Yeah.
So I found out in him, and it got me attracted. We became friends, and then there was no communication, and technology has not grown as it is now. So I had to leave. He left. I think he left and relocated to Benin. We lost contact and all that. But as fate would have it, we met again in Benin.
Yeah.
And the same choir brought us together. So I can say that it was what was actually made in heaven. Because when I look back, I can't really understand how the whole thing played out. As if God just wanted it that way. Not as if, he wanted it that way actually. And meeting ourselves again in St. Albert's Choir actually gave the room and platform for a cemented relationship that has come out to.
How did he shoot the shot, man?
Eh?
How did he shoot the shot?
How did he shoot the shot? Well,
He's a man of few words.
yes, it's a man of few words. So it's a man of few words. But actually, I can remember it was in his house. It was in his house in Ugbo then. He was living in Ugbo, and Uniben is close. So I will always visit in the midst of my friends. But on this particular day, it happened that I had to invite him for a program in my department. So he agreed to come, and that was how it all started. Just like that.
Well,
So-
maybe I should.
Third detail on the line.
As a young man who, knowing that yes, you are going to get married someday, and as you walk towards your academics and all that, start looking towards the future too. But at that point that I started thinking of marriage and all that, and then eventually, I can say that initially our relationship was that of good friends who are interested in music, who love God and all that. So, because then I had graduated, was a student, so like mentoring someone, and that was that type of relationship. So at the point that the thought came of when I was searching, praying and all that, she was the last that would come to my mind because, and I must say, one of my friends, Raphael Onakure, who was also in the choir, said, "What of this lady?" I said, no, Raphael, don't go there. It's like a younger sister to me, someone who, he said, "Okay, is it stranger that you will marry? Is it not someone that you know?" I said, "But we are too close." That's the more reason now. Somehow, that was the turning point that I'm overlooking something here, So I now started looking to that because she's someone who is, dedicated, God-fearing, simple. So by the time I can say my gaze turned to that direction, I didn't have any doubt as to whether she's the right person or the right person. So that was
And this is looking very beautiful to hear.
So that's all work out.
So, in other words, we should not stress on some people. Some people are not meant to just be friends. Just
Exactly.
Don't
Yes,
go
and I
too far
encourage
from
that.
something.
I encourage that in the choir. I encourage that in the choir and among youth, because if you do not think of it, your better half might just pass you by without
Exactly.
knowing. So, first of all, the awareness that, are you going to be a priest or are you going to be married? You have to take that decision early. If you are taking that decision that you are going to be married, then the next thing is who. And you must start working towards it prayerfully. And then you watch, look at among the
Watch and pray.
Yes. So those are the things that will help. And then when you eventually find this, and then, you know. Now, the first thing I will want to advise the present chorister is be committed as a chorister to academics and to the choir. You'll find out that our time is choked. The activities we have, yeah, so many. I will say that I was very glad when I saw of recent, at least some names that the chairman of the choir published, who did very well in the academic. I said that should be encouraged. Why? Because you need to put in time for your studies and at the same time. So you shouldn't be a chorister who comes in occasionally, but a chorister who is there when the choir needs you, serving the choir, serving the church, and then be committed to your studies. And in the midst of this, when you strike this balance, any other thing that is not really part of this main goal, you do away with it. Because if you are everywhere, your academics, the choir, and then other so many things, you might find out that some things will be suffering. But if you have been able to accommodate these two well, and there's still room to take other activities, then that would be encouraged. But I think that commitment is very, very important.
Mommy, what about you?
Yes, apart from commitment, my advice to the present day choir, you should see the work you are doing as a selfless and sacrificial one, because you are not actually being paid for it. You put in a whole lot of time. And one thing you should always have at the back of your mind is that it's God that actually repays for every of these sacrifices that you make. You are not doing it to please anyone. You are doing it to glorify God. Always have that at the back of your mind. And wherever you go, whatever service you render to God and His church is never left unrewarded. God always pays you back. It could be in your place of youth service. It could be however He wishes to. He always pays you back. And I remember vividly, Reverend Father Obiyan told me then that God paid me back by giving me my husband for the services I rendered when I was there. And I actually looked back and I said, yes. So it could be the payment could come in whichever way. So don't do it to please anyone or think of the reward you are going to get from it. Actually, it is service to God and humanity. And at the same time, remain focused, because you never can tell where all of this you have learned will take you to in life. It always sets you at a pedestal to always perform well wherever you find yourself in other spheres of life.
Thank you.